The 14 Monster Jam drivers on Stadium Championship Series West are headed into El Paso, Texas this weekend for two shows taking place at Sun Bowl Stadium. This series has had such a tight points race the entire time. Tristan England sits atop the leaderboard in the JCB Diggatron. He is 14 points ahead of Ryan Anderson in Son of a Digger. But Son of a Digger has been red hot as of late. Ryan Anderson is hot on the tail of Tristan England. The question is, will he be able to get closer this weekend, or will Tristan get right back in the saddle and take over control of this tour once again? You're going to have to find out with two shows here in El Paso next on Monster Jam. Monster Jam fans, welcome back to another commentary. It is Saturday. We are in El Paso, Texas, in a venue that is super cool, super fun, always seems to provide some of the best Monster Jam moments, and quite honestly, some of the most popular commentaries right here on the channel. It is the Sun Bowl. We've got 12 Monster Jam drivers representing Stadium Championship Series West. This is their first of two events that took place last weekend, so let's find out those drivers who we will be watching in this show. Competing first, we've got Kayla Blood in the Sparkle Smash. This truck has broken so many times this year. She's only gotten to fill the clock one time in her freestyle runs. Jamie Garner in El Toro Loco has been dealing with a lot of motor issues as of late, and now he's driving a lot more carefully because of all the motors he's gone through. Matt Pagliarulo in Jester's been a consistent competitor out there throughout the competitions and is always the leader of Tomfoolery Motorsports. Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken, for once, had a bit of a weird weekend last weekend in Minneapolis. Didn't really drive that aggressively after having a couple weeks of driving very hard. Tyler Duke and Megalodon drove worse than I've seen him in a very long time as of late, and that's saying something because he is one of the worst drivers at the stadium level recently. Adam Anderson in Gravedigger is dealing with a lot of truck issues in his own right. Last week, he sent the truck so hard in the last Minneapolis event. Michael Pagliarulo and Excalibur's got himself two freestyle wins now on this series. He has been very fun in that competition this year. Zach Garner in Wildside is a defending world racing champion, yet doesn't have a win in that competition. Freestyle has been his bread and butter so far this year. Colvinar in the Black Pearl is another one whose freestyles have been so much fun. He's got the best one we've seen of the year, and he was able to grab racing last weekend in Minneapolis. Bryce Kenny and Montramut's finally looking like an incredible freestyler. He has put all three competitions together and is driving the best we've seen him all year. Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger cooled off a little bit earlier in the year, but is looking better as of late. He is hot on the heels of your series leader, which is Tristan England in the JCB Diggatron. He is 14 points up right now, and he's going to try and hold on to that lead this weekend. So we'll start things off with Monster Jam Racing round number one. All 12 drivers have been randomly seated into the bracket. 4 drivers have bye runs into the second round. Our first match of the day is Kraken and Sparkle Smash. You just met the drivers, so you know who they are, but I'll remind you anyway. It's Nick Pagliarulo and Kayla Blood. Neither of them are particularly good racers. We've got a nice wide shot of the entire track, so we saw that Sparkle Smash won the race. And we also, they're right on the top. W video editor. This is also apparently a highlight video. I'll get more into that in a moment. As Colvinard in Black Pearl takes on Zach Garner in Wildside. I'm pretty sure we see full action until Freestyle, where I think they just cut out a little bit of some of the dead time, but totally fine. I'm excited. It was between this or having an hour and 20-minute video that I had to edit down. I would much rather do this. Two very good racers going head-to-head here. It's a good battle that leads in a Wildside victory. Zach able to take down last week's racing winner on Sunday, Colvinard in the Black Pearl. The next race, we've got Excalibur and El Toro Loco. The drivers, Michael Pagliarulo and Jamie Garner. This series has been so much fun in every respect. Every competition has been a blast, and racing has certainly been a really good one. All 12 drivers on this series have really, in my opinion, learned a lot throughout the season and have improved a lot. Michael Pagliarulo and Excalibur, definitely one of them. Jamie Garner tried to come back in the race, but did not, so it is an Excalibur victory here in round number 1. Pretty close one. Toro Loco got a 5-second penalty, too, which I find surprising, because it did not look like he missed that ramp. Oh, wow, Matt Pagliarulo is out for racing here. He comes back after he had some motor problems in intros. He will take on Todd LeDuc in Megalodon. Todd LeDuc has 4 competition wins on the season. None of them have come in racing, which is a bit of a surprise, but what's not a bit of a surprise, Jester's been shut down. Looks like the motor issues he was dealing with are back, and are going to prevent him from even finishing this race, which is too bad, because Todd LeDuc has not been the most dominant of racers here today, but this season, but Matt Pagliarulo is also not a great one either. So Megalodon obviously won. This guy's funny. I like his sense of humor. So Jester's back on already. So here we go to round number 2 of racing. We still have 8 drivers to race because we had the 4 that got bye runs in round number 1. Our first driver with a bye run was Tristan England in the JCB Digatron. He's your series leader, and he's taken on Sparkle Smash, which is being driven by Caleb Blood. Tristan England has been the second best racer on this series and always has been a really good racer throughout his career, and since coming up in the stadiums last year has been phenomenal in this competition. The only problem is he only has 2 racing wins on the season because Ryan Anderson has been taking his number all season long, but Tristan England gets back to the semifinals where he has been living all season. He moves on. Todd LeDuc in Megalodon now takes on Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger. 2 trucks with blue underglow. Very pretty. Here in El Paso, Texas. Ryan Anderson, like I mentioned, has 8 racing wins on the season. This man has been the most unbeatable force on this series in racing. And Todd LeDuc, without a racing win, would love to pull out an upset here, but he will not. Ryan Anderson has taken down another world racing champion. He moves on to the next round. It looks like he'll be taking on Tristan England in that next round, which is going to be a pretty pivotal race. Here's Zach Garner in Wildside, and his opponent is Bryce Kenny in Monster Mode. And if you look there, the light was green for Zach Garner. He did not go, but we do have a light malfunction here, which I find fascinating. The light was green. Zach Garner did not leave the line. So you've got to wonder, maybe something just went wrong in the brain there. Maybe just disconnected, controller disconnected. It happens. It happens. But he gets a second chance at it here. And that means that, well, we're going to see if he'll be able to grab a bit of a redemption victory. They're close across the final jump, and it was Monster Mud, I think, that got that victory, and he was. So Bryce Kenny has been a really good racer this year. He has a racing win on the season, and I gotta say, he might be in position for another one today. He's been looking good, and he's on this side of the bracket that features Adam Anderson and Gravedigger and Michael Pagliarulo and Excalibur. So out of those 3 remaining on this side of the bracket, Bryce Kenny's probably the best racer this season. These 2 guys, Michael Pagliarulo, not known for racing, and Adam Anderson cannot figure out racing at all this year. He doesn't have a win in this competition. He comes around the final turn with a lead, though. He might have gotten a 5-second penalty. We'll find out in a moment. He did not. So Gravedigger wins the race. He's going back to the semifinals. Maybe today's the day, but he did not look very comfortable in that race. So we now come down to the final 4. This is going to be a pretty tough one because we've got some really good battles here. This one is a marquee matchup. The 2 top racers on the series meet in the semifinals. It's Son of a Digger and JCB Digatron. Ryan Anderson, Tristan England. Between these 2, they have 10 of the 13 racing wins on this series. One of them's going back to the final round. The other one's going to have to watch. Ryan needs this racing win for points to get closer to Tristan, but he will not! Tristan takes him down! And with a statement victory, he advances to the finals! That is a bit of a surprise that Ryan made the mistake there. He will take on the winner of this race. You've got Adam Anderson and Gravedigger and Bryce Kenny in Monster Mud. Adam Anderson, a 5-time World Finals champion, a 3-time World Racing champion. Bryce Kenny, no World Championships for that man, but he's been a good racer this season. They come around the final turn. It's a close one. I don't know who got the win. Let's find out. It was a Monster Mud victory, another one by the skin of his teeth, and Adam is going to have to wait another day to win racing. It is not going to happen in El Paso. So we will have a repeat winner here tonight. It's either Bryce Kenny and Monster Mutt or Tristan England in the JCB Digatron, who will be walking away with a racing win in the first night here in El Paso. Tristan clips the turning bump. That's going to slow him down and give Monster Mutt an edge. They will head into the final turn pretty close, but Monster Mutt leading. They come around the final jump, and Tristan made up the ground and crossed the line first and is your winner. So he comes from behind and picks up a big set of points over Ryan Anderson. That is huge for him as he gains 3 more on the son of a digger truck, putting him now 17 points up at the top of the series as he grabs racing win number 3 on the year. We now go to the skills challenge as Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken with that beautiful purple Kraken truck. The purple underglow starts us off with a bicycle. You can do either 2 moves on 2 wheels of your monster truck or 1 donut. Not many drivers on this series try the donuts. I think we've only seen 1 or 2 on this series altogether. Most people stick to the typical 2-wheel skills rules. That is the end of the run. He gets a 4.234. Thankfully, this guy, a legendary video editor, puts the scores in here. You're a king for that. Here's Colvinard in the Black Pearl. I will also give what I think the driver should have gotten if I believe it was warranted, at least, because with a lower score, I don't really care. We'll care about it with some of the better runs. Colvinard now going to try a bicycle after failing that reverse popper. He's deep on the bicycle. Very nice move, so he makes up for the bad first one. Still will give him a 6.9. The fans give him a 6.6. Pretty close to what I would have given him. Don't forget, this series does have an expert judge on it as well, so keep that in the back of our minds here. El Toro Loco's coming out next. This is Jamie Garner. Now, he has been a really interesting driver in this competition. Loves to do the reverse poppers and then loves to do sky wheelies. That is pretty much it. He's doing the reverse popper here. He's walking it all the way across that tabletop, and that is about as well as you can nail that move. Unfortunately, it's not the most exciting of moves, but it does get the move done nonetheless. Looks like he's going to try to do that sky wheelie here. He has, again, interchanged those moves for move number 2. Usually starts with the reverse popper and then we'll send it with a sky wheelie on move number 2. He hits the log, gets a nice sky wheelie there, and I would say that's your new leader with a 7.3. We'll see what the fans scored him. They gave him a 7.966. While Toro Loco takes first place in this competition, I don't know if Jamie's done that at all this year. Here comes Jester, Matt Pagliarulo. That's the jammer. Trying to slap wheelie, he got it. Tried to combo it up, did not quite do it very well. That's too bad, but he still has 1 more move to go. Let's see if he can do a good one here for move number 2. On the back side of the racing lane, walked it up the back of the ramp, but did not quite do a very good move with it. He gets a 5 from the scoring. Shout out David Mila, the other host on this series. This series has Ray Villarreal, David Mila, and Lindsay Noble as their hosts. Great group of hosts. Got to spend some time with them in Glendale. Good people. Kayla Blood in Sparkle Smash is up next. It has been someone made a really good point that Kayla Blood, it looks like she either has full throttle or no throttle at all. It seems like she's got, it's almost like if you've ever used a keyboard for racing games, like you hit up arrow and it's going to give you full throttle, you take it off, gives you none. And I gotta say, that is a very accurate representation, and she proves it once again by having no control of the truck. She does take the lead, and I think she deserved it. I wouldn't have given her an 8.6, though. I would have given her a 7.9. Here's Todd the Duke in Megalodon. Todd's got 2 wins in this competition this year. Was a little bouncy on the right side of the bicycle there. He'll come back to this side of the track for his second bicycle. Let's see what he does with this one. Tries the stoppie. There you go. He got into it a little early, but it worked very well. Put himself in a bit of a wonky spot, but a good run all around. I would give him the lead for that, and he takes it with an 8.981. I would have given him an 8.5, so I still would have given him that first place spot. Here comes Zach Garner in Wildside. So Megalodon is your new leader. Zach Garner has a win in this competition this year. It came last weekend in Minneapolis. Kind of an awkward drop down on that. I don't know what happened there, but when he landed, when he came off the ramp, he kind of turned to the side a little bit. Sometimes that's a sign of a broken axle, but I don't think he has one. I think the ramp might have just kind of messed him up there as he now goes for his tombstone maneuver for move number 2, and he's got to really do a good one here because he failed move number 1. But at the same time, Zach Garner's really not too worried about overall points or series points right now. As he gets closer, you can see Excalibur parked over there. Michael Pagliarulo kind of waving him over. I don't know if you saw that, but he was kind of saying, like, you've got room, and Zach gets a pretty good number, but not the best because he failed that first move. Here's Excalibur. This is Michael Pagliarulo. Coming out later in this competition, he's been doing a little bit better in racing as of late than he had earlier on in the year as he goes for a bicycle on move number 1. This competition's been good for him, but the one that I would say definitely needs a good bit of polishing. He has certainly a lot of room to improve in this competition, but I've got to say he has done a lot better than some other drivers who have been in the circuit for a very long time and that are also on this series. I mean, there are drivers on this series that have been driving monster trucks for, I don't know, 8 years to 10 years and can't do moves as well as Michael Pagliarulo can in his first full year on a Monster Jam tour. So take that as you will. He gets a 7.9. Here comes Ryan Anderson in Son of a Digger. I just love the way the trucks look. I think it might just be the camera this guy is using, but the quality here today is quite stellar, and I gotta say, the El Paso lighting is always really cool for Monster Jam shows. It just looks great, and he goes from one side to the other, but overdoes it. Wow! Ryan Anderson making a rare mistake today, and that's gonna open up the door for Tristan England to grab not only a win in this competition when he comes out, but some serious points and putting further space between him and Ryan Anderson. Here comes Adam Anderson in Gravedigger, the brother of Ryan, who we just saw. Another driver being thrown off by that ramp. I think the landing on that ramp might be a little bit awkward. We've seen 2 drivers now fail that move. And the last 2 that'll come after Adam like to do moves off of that, as Adam tried the bicycle, the moonwalk, didn't work. He got a 6.706. Another pretty rough run out of Adam Anderson. So here's Bryce Kenny in Monster Mud. He tries a stoppie. Now the dirt in El Paso, I've got to say, is a lot looser than we see in a lot of other venues. I've been to this building before, and it is very, very loose dirt. I mean, you can kick it around very simply. So not a surprise that it's kind of breaking down on that one ramp, and it's easy to mold. I mean, all it takes is one kind of awkward bounce. So Bryce tries his first move there. It's a moonwalk. You have to remember, they gave Todd Leduc first place right now, so Todd with that 8.9 is what Bryce is aiming to beat. We'll see if Bryce can do it. I also forgot that El Paso's music is always so much louder. The speakers in this building are crazy loud. And I don't know if it's just because you can't really tell how loud it is from where show call is, but it is so loud in this building. He doesn't take first place. He gets an 8.905, and honestly, I don't disagree. I did like Todd Leduc's move a little bit better. So here comes Tristan England in the JCB Digatron. Now, you've got to keep in mind here, Tristan now knows that Ryan placed very, very far below the top spot right now. Pretty good opportunity for Tristan to separate himself from Ryan heavily here in this competition. He gained 3 points on him in racing and a chance to gain, I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 right here, but does kind of fail that first move. I mean, he obviously nailed the moonwalk, but was not able to do anything else with it. He heads over to this ramp now. He's done a ton of stoppies off of this one, but nobody's hit this ramp today, so we don't know how it's going to play. We've already seen one ramp that has usually been pretty safe, has not looked good, so we'll see if this one is, and it is. Pretty good drop down. Now, this is a great angle for us to see how little of room Tristan really has to work this nose flick here. I don't know if it's different in El Paso than some other buildings, but really doesn't have much room to work with there. He does a little nose pick, gets an 8.567, so he doesn't win. So Todd Leduc is your winner in the Skills Challenge, picking up win number 3 on the year. Tristan did place a fair amount over Ryan, but not as much as he would have liked or probably should have if he had a little bit of a better second move there. So we now head into the freestyle competition. Caleb Blood and Sparkle Smash will lead us off, and I want to remind you again, this video that I downloaded was a highlight video, so if you see cuts from one jump to the other, that is why. Probably just to cut out some of that dead space in between. Kayla's already, looks like has a problem. She might have a broken axle in the back right. So it looks like we're just going to be jumping from move to move. Maybe not with all of the runs, but maybe on some of the runs that weren't that great. Honestly, it's okay, though, because we cut out some of that dead air, and I can just kind of talk about the run that's going on. I don't have to really fill so much today, so you don't have to hear me do so much yapping. Nice air, and Kayla Blood's issue this season has not been able to fill the clock. She has gone big, and it's broken the truck many, many times. She's going big yet again today. Today, the truck is holding together, but I think a lot of the problem is she's a reckless driver, doesn't have much control, but she is going pretty big. I mean, so far, multiple hits. The other thing you have to keep in mind, it's really hard to keep track of how much time is left because we don't know how much time is going between each move. But so far, she's making it further into this freestyle than she has for most of her runs to this point in the season. So a nice welcome surprise out of the Sparkle Smash truck today. She goes big there for another jump. I mean, she's definitely throwing in the hang time. Sounds like she's only got 30 seconds to go, so this might be a full clock freestyle. That has been far and few between for the Sparkle Smash truck this year. So coming down to the wire, the truck is surprisingly holding together, something that has not happened this season for her at all. Goes headfirst in there, cases it on in. The truck flips it right over and broke everything in the front end there. Very hard break, but it looked like she might have filled the clock. She got an 8.728. Not too sure if she filled the clock or not, but I'm not going to lie, that was probably the second longest freestyle she has had of the year. A welcome surprise. Oh, look, Adam Anderson's trying to tame the bull. I love that. That's really funny. Jamie Garner El Toro Loco is out next. I would have given Caleb Blood a 7.9. I mean, it was a good freestyle run. Definitely overscored there. That's okay. We'll see what Jamie Garner can do. Jamie's freestyles were a lot more tentative in Minneapolis. He was way more just kind of careful out there. And I totally understand why. I mean, the man has probably blown like 3 to 4 motors on the season. He is spending money left and right on this truck all year long. So it's not entirely a surprise that he's taking it easy out there. I would too. It's pretty funny. Somebody commented last week, they're like, I wouldn't hate so much on the independents. You know, they got to fix their trucks. I'm like, I'm well aware of that. Obviously, I know that the independents have to fix their own trucks. I've never once said that I think the independents have to go out there and drive aggressively. It doesn't mean that it's exciting, though. You know, I've said many times, like, yeah, they're going out there. It's just not fun to watch. But I'm not saying that I expect more from them. I never once have expected more. Yes, I would like to see Jamie Garner go a little bit bigger, but I totally understand his circumstances this year as he lands a backflip. Very nice. First one of the day. Pop the back left tire, and guess what? They're leaving him on! This series is totally okay with letting trucks drive broken. He's now got 2 pop tires, and they're letting him still freestyle. Shout out Stadium Championship Series West, as you guys understand the sport of Monster Jam. They do shut him off now, but these guys are way, way more lenient with their stuff, and I'm a big fan of that. This series is not so uptight with the shutoffs like we see on Stadium East, who clearly are the most by-the-book losers you'll ever see when it comes to shutting trucks off. This series has been quite awesome in that regard. Here's Todd LeDuc and Megalodon. So Jamie Garner did take the lead, and I probably would have given him an 8.35. I mean, it was a good run, and probably one of the better ones we've seen out of Jamie as of late, which was nice. So here's Todd LeDuc, and the beauty of this is we do not have to sit through 2 minutes of Todd LeDuc's stupidity. We maybe only have to deal with a minute or so, because we're cutting out all that in-between fluff that is usually just spoiled fluff. Is he going to go for the backflip already? No, Todd's just going to waste our time. Thank you, Todd. I love watching you freestyle. It's so sad because Todd looked great in Glendale. He looked great in Anaheim the week after. What is that? He just sent the truck sideways on a ramp. But Todd has just not figured out how to freestyle the last 2 weeks. He's changed it up in a very bad way. And he might be dealing with some rear steer problems too. It just, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but when you know how good Todd LeDuc can be, and he showed it already this year 2 to 3 times, we know he's capable of it, we know he's capable of still doing it, he's choosing to drive like a loser. So it's, if you're going to purposely drive like a loser, I'm going to treat you like one, Todd. There you go. That's cool. Oh my! Very awesome! That is one heck of a move out of Megalodon. The bicycle, the stoppie. Thankfully, he didn't take the lead because that was all he did, but that was a stellar, stellar move out of Todd. Here comes Kraken, Nick Pagliarulo. I would have given Todd probably an 8.1 for that. I mean, that was good. The one wow moment was nice at the end, but he didn't do anything else. So what else can you do? So Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken was the one that last week I was kind of surprised with how timid he was driving. Timid's the word I was thinking of before, not tentative. I just couldn't figure it out. You see those brakes sparking a lot? That has been a major issue for Kraken this year, and thankfully this series is not shutting him off for it. We all know if he was on the other tour, his freestyles would last 20 seconds with those brakes. They just let him run on this tour because this tour is about fun, and I'm a big fan of that. This tour likes to have fun, not the other one. Very nice air. And you know what? There's something nostalgic about seeing those brakes just light up midair like that. takes me back to the old days of Damon Bradshaw and Dennis Anderson. Like, that's a cool shot. If Dave DeAngelis, the GOAT of photography, was in the stands, he would get a cool-ass picture of that I would love to look at for a very long time. But Dave does not live in Texas, so he obviously wouldn't have been at this show. This has been an okay freestyle for Kraken, but kind of on par with what we saw last week. He's just kind of going out there and freestyling. I mean, you have to imagine, he broke the truck a ton for a couple of weeks. He's also got a new body on that thing, so why risk kind of going crazy out here? He's already gotten his fair share of wow moments and good freestyles, so maybe take a couple weeks to hold back a little bit and pick one or two shows where you go crazy. His time is up, so this move doesn't count for scoring. He didn't do a backflip either, so that's a 7.7. He gets 7.28, so he finishes, well, he's currently sitting in last place in this competition. Here comes Zach Garner's wild side. There you go, right off the racing lane. Zach has been a very fun freestyler. This kid has been super cool to watch in this competition. He's a world racing champion who, I've got to say, is one heck of a threat to win the freestyle championship this year. I would probably put him in my top 5 most likely to win that. You've got to remember, this kid is going big in every single freestyle we have seen from him this year. No matter what time there is left on the clock, he's going big. Think about how cool that's going to be when he comes to the World Finals, and he knows every single mat jump matters so much. He's going to go even bigger than he is right now. We're going to see Zach Garner turn into a different man. The question is if the truck will hold together. I guarantee you, if Zach Garner puts down a 2-minute freestyle at the World Finals this year in Salt Lake City, he might be a World Freestyle Champion. He goes for the backflip. Short, but he still was able to land it. It's not a lot of times where that truck has just smacked the red limiter every single time he has done a backflip. Now he is gearing up for that huge ramp and got a great shot of him sending it right to the middle. This angle is perfect to catch that awesome ramp. We've usually been on the opposite side of the track for a lot of commentaries this year. He's going to cross-thread that puppy, and he's putting on a good run here today. Can't have much time left, can't quite tell because you can't see ribbon boards or anything, but Zach is just adding so many moves here. I thought he was going to do his triple cross thread like we had seen him do a couple of events earlier. I think that was in Tampa or so. Tries a little combo maneuver here too, so Zach is just throwing in different kinds of stuff in a perfect way to end off the run with a combo like that. What a great freestyle to Zach Garner. That's a 9.3 and well deserving of, I'm assuming, what will take the lead. I mean, nobody has even come close. He gets the 9.218 he deserves and is now sitting in first place. And the man who has been the most entertaining freestyler on this series has done yet another very good one. Here comes Matt Pagliarulo and Jester. Now, another thing to keep in mind, this series does have 2 shows this weekend, so they are currently aware they've got another show tomorrow. You don't want to go out there and totally destroy the truck. Save that for the Sunday afternoon show. You can go out there and put a good show on. We can kind of tell Zach Garner was holding back just a smidge. Now some electrical issues coming into play for the Jester truck. You remember, he had issues like that kept him out of racing. Well, it didn't keep him out of racing, but it kept him essentially out of racing because he didn't finish his race in round number 1. He had some issues in intros with that. So now he's coming out here freestyling, trying to put on a good run with what seems to be a bit of a hurt truck. But it seems to be running fine now, so that's good. Maybe sometimes you just gotta knock it loose. Shout out Knock It Loose. Some of you hopefully got that reference, and if you did, you have good music taste. And scary music taste, but, I mean, that's okay. We're just different from everyone else. Jester is doing kind of what we've seen out of Matt Pagliarulo all year this year. He's just, I don't know if he's choosing not to hit ramp straight on or what, but he's broken something in the back right. I think he either broke the planetary or broke the axle, but he has no power in that back right. It's something I learned is that losing power in the back right is not necessarily just a broken axle. Sometimes it is a broken planetary. There is a difference between a locked planetary and a broken planetary, because sometimes the planetary will just snap. It's I don't know. It's a totally different thing. Here's Colvin in the Black Pearl. But I learned that, and sometimes you can tell because if it locked up at first, but then it freed itself. Because sometimes you'll see if a truck has that broken planetary, you'll see the drivers break it free, but it's still broken. So that was kind of what happened there in the Jester run. He locked, the wheel locked, and then it loosened up. So I think it was a planetary issue there. As Colvin on the Black Pearl is out here, and we're already seeing him make quite a few hits already, and this is what Cole loves to do. He doesn't waste any time. I mean, he goes jump to jump so fast. And the pace is always great. The momentum is always great. He has been a really good freestyler on this series. This has been one of the best series we've had out of Cole Vennard in a very long time. Probably since, man, I want to say 2022 was a really good year for Cole. He had a really good year in 2019 as well. Actually, I don't remember that as much. I think 2022 was a really good year for Cole Vennard. And I kind of am forgetting how good that year was because last year was just such a... Well, the last 2 years are just kind of underwhelming. Oh my! He overdoes it, but he might get a chance at a save. There you go, Cole! Unfortunately, his run will be over because he smacked the dumpster. Something he really couldn't control, but Monster Jam let him save it. This series lets him save it at least. So shout out to them because the other series would have shut him off knowing he would hit the dumpsters because they don't like fun. Here's Adam Anderson in Gravedigger. So Cole does not take the lead even though he got the wow moment. He didn't fill the clock, so I don't disagree with that score that he was given. Now, Adam Anderson right now is coming out with a window to take the lead. Zach Garner's in first place right now. He had a good run, absolutely beatable. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because Adam Anderson does not have a freestyle win yet this year, and I don't know if Adam Anderson has ever had a Monster Jam season in which he hasn't won the freestyle competition, and right now we are seriously at risk of that happening. So I don't know if Adam's ever even gone this long into a season without winning a freestyle competition. He's got it on one wheel in El Paso, and it just kicks him right around. Well, Adam's got the wow moment. Maybe today's going to be the day. I mean, it has been such a long time coming. Flies it over the car stack, so this is certainly the building blocks for a leading freestyle at this stage of the game. Question is if he can get it done. Goes to that backflip. This side might be a little bit more differently built than the other because that's now two drivers who smacked the rev limiters in the air. Wow, he goes wacky over that ramp, and that adds another cool moment, and he combos it right up. So, I gotta say, this is our best freestyle of the day so far. The Gravedigger effect might help us as well. We might have that first Gravedigger win. Or at least a lead take here. Gonna cross-thread the jammer as time expires. It bounces him on top of the ramp. Give him a 9.325. He takes the lead. Adam Anderson is sitting in first. I don't know how long it'll last, but Adam has not sat in first in this competition for a very long time this year, if at all. So, with Michael Pagliarulo and Excalibur coming out, it might be tough because this kid has been an absolute rock star in this competition. Rockstar should sponsor the Excalibur truck because this kid not only brings the energy, but he is a rock star. I mean, he is so good at freestyling. Like I said, one of the best, and I mentioned it last week. If he keeps this up, I wouldn't be shocked if he's out of the World Finals lineup. He has certainly earned it. If not, he'll probably get himself a last chance qualifier, which would definitely not help him because he can't race, but that's all right. He's going to backflip. Much better backflip on that side than we saw from Zach Garner or Adam Anderson. Gonna head towards this ramp. Only had one other driver go big off of it today, and oh, wow, what a hard hit that was. That had to make his teeth chatter. I can't even imagine how hard that was, but he goes right back after it. He doesn't care how much that hurt. He's gonna fill his clock with every single big move he possibly can. I mean, Zach Garner is just going, not Zach Garner, Michael Pagliarulo is just going so big on this series. He's having another great freestyle today. He's put it onto the sidewalls. Oh, wow, what a weird ending to the run. He almost got a nasty save out of it. Doesn't take the lead. Still, yet another great showing out of Excalibur today. Here comes the JCB Digatron as we're getting close to the end here. We still need to see him. We still need to see Ryan Anderson, and we still need to see Bryce Kenny. Tristan led off freestyle last Sunday in Minneapolis, had his best freestyle of the year. You can sense a little bit of urgency in Tristan's freestyles as of late. He went from driving at about 60% to probably at about 80 to 85 now. I'm definitely noticing an uptick in pace, in speed, and wow moments. So you can tell that Tristan is certainly driving that way. But today, he has gained a couple points on Ryan, so I don't think we're going to see him driving as aggressively. This is going to be more of a strategy kind of run for Tristan England today. I think he knows what he has to do. He's got to go out there and probably finish in the top 5, and he can feel pretty good about where he sits going into tomorrow no matter what Ryan Anderson does. It'll put the pressure on Ryan enough. Going for the backflip. He comes up short on a 2, saves it, watch the wall, popped it into a wheelie. Wow, what a move. I was not expecting that whatsoever, and he's going to launch it to the center. Tristan England going big today. Over she goes, right on top of the tabletop. What a freestyle. He got an 8.719, a little underscored with the wow moment and finish. But that's about what he was trying to get score-wise. I wouldn't have put him in first place still, though. I do like Adam's run the best. But his brother, Ryan, is now coming out. The other Anderson boy, Ryan Anderson, taking Son of a Digger to this track. And you can see already 3 moves in, he is seeing an opportunity. He knows he really has to win freestyle today. And that's the thing Ryan has been able to capitalize on this season, is when he knows what he has to do, he typically can do it. He probably lost between 6 to 8 points so far today. So he knows right now with the score Tristan got, if he wins, he could at least maybe only lose 1 to 3 at the end of the night. Obviously, he's going to hope for Bryce Kenny to wedge himself between Ryan and Tristan as well. But you could see Ryan driving very strategically right now, but a little more aggressive than we had seen for a lot of this year. Not quite what we saw last weekend in Minneapolis, but he just backed up to go full send to the center of the track. Unfortunately, that ramp doesn't send you very far. Now going to try a backflip. He seems to have wasted a lot of time at this point. We will see if he can finish with a huge bang here. He loves to go for that giant ramp, which he does. He attacks it and sends it right to the middle. Ryan has been doing that so much as of late. That seems to be his favorite ramp to hit, and it gives him some serious hang time. But I'd love to see a wow moment here. I don't think he's done quite enough to take down Adam Anderson. It's pretty much on par with Zach Garner, but you need to separate yourself. That comes after the time, so keep that in mind as well. I would put that probably in third. A good run from Ryan Anderson, but not the best we've seen today, and it does put him in third place, exactly where I thought. So he will gain points on Tristan in this competition, but not as much as he probably could have, as Bryce Kenny and Monster Mutt comes out right now. So if you're Ryan Anderson, you're rooting for Bryce Kenny to finish in fourth. That is exactly what he needs, because then that'll help him get a couple more points back on Tristan. If you are Tristan England, well, obviously you're either hoping Bryce finishes in last, or you're hoping that he finishes below you or above Ryan. As long as he's not in between the two of them, it won't impact the separation of points there. Bryce Kenny won freestyle last Sunday in Minneapolis. He had one of the best finishes to a freestyle run we have had all year. Had an insane save, one of the top moments of the year. If you missed that run, you've got to check it out because it was spectacular. I mean, last Sunday in Minneapolis was bonkers, and Bryce capped it off with one of the best freestyles of the entire season. And he's going to try and follow it up here in El Paso with a back-to-back freestyle win. He is going to have to take down Adam Anderson, so Adam Anderson is in first. Don't forget that. Bryce Kenny is the only thing standing between Adam and that first freestyle win, but Bryce is going to do his best that he can. He does a little backflip to moonwalk. Wow, sends it right off that ramp and puts him sideways. He's got to save it, and a perfect save. That one took no effort, but he was able to pull it out brilliantly, and now Bryce is throwing in the combos too. So Bryce Kenny doing what he does best, which is throwing in those wacky wow moments and getting big numbers because of it. This has been a really good run too, and I would actually say better than what Adam Anderson and Gravedigger had. He's been shut off, so I have to imagine his time is up. He doesn't take the lead, which means that Adam Anderson and Gravedigger was your winner. Wow! I want to confirm that for sure, just to be positive. Yes, it was! Today is the day! I've got to find that. I got to find his run and just leave a screen grab of him. There it is. I'm just going to let this run in the background while I talk about the end here, because Adam Anderson in Gravedigger has finally won a freestyle in the year of 2025, and I am so happy about it. Off the schneid. The streak is finally over, and I am pumped up about it. What a way for him to go out. What a way to start the El Paso event. I'm assuming based off of that last little shot we saw that Tristan won the overall, but he did not, so I guess that was just kind of a recap of what was going on. Very interesting. So your overall event champion was Bryce Kenny and Monster Mutt. He got 32 points, and in second was Adam, so Adam had a chance. Now you look at the important numbers here. JCB Digatron put up 5 points. on Son of a Diggers. So that means that Tristan is now 19 points ahead of Ryan entering into the Sunday competition. That is obviously pretty much impossible to take over in one day, and Ryan cannot afford to lose points tomorrow. He just can't. That is going to be really interesting to see. But obviously, moral of the story, Adam has grabbed freestyle win number 1, and I'm fired up about that. That is the big story of the day today to start off this weekend in El Paso. I hope you enjoyed the commentary. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you all in the next one.